Generally, like, business is really, really hard. My first business was at like age 11, dog sitting, dog walking business. I love anything that can help or streamline or optimize or organize. I don't really believe in balance. The traffic thing is interesting because traffic is always everyone's like biggest challenge. If you don't have maybe the resources, if you can't work with an agency, or if you don't want to work with an agency, volume is actually a huge problem.
MelRose, I'm really glad to see you here. I'm glad that you have a moment to be here at the TESS conference. And I, to begin with, wanted to tell you that this is always a pleasure to see you to cooperate with people. To talk with all the business people, content creators, and everyone from the ecosystem, from the industry. So glad to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I always love chatting with you.
How do you describe this? What's going on in this kind of conferences for you? This is always a lot of meeting new people, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the business side of it, it's B2B. So these conferences are very useful to meet with, traffic affiliates, to sit at the talks and hear what's going on. Also just to see the community and talk to other executives. I think that what we get out of these conferences that's so unique is the B2B aspect. And you don't get that at a lot of the creator conferences or like the adult conferences specifically.
Exactly. They have specific peculiarities, each of them. And it is interesting to see how it all changes from one to another.
Yes.
But you see anyway a lot of familiar faces.
Yes.
And all of those.
Yes. It's so nice.
Yeah, I would like to highlight the fact that this is incredible that you have so much experience in so many different areas. As a content creator, as a businesswoman, you have multiple different businesses that I would really like to ask a few questions about.
Yeah, of course.
And shall we start with your experience that came first, like at the beginning of all this large path that is currently behind you? I believe it all started with the content creation, right?
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit from the beginning, going all the way there, like how did it all start, how it influences your experience today in a business perspective? Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I got started in the industry as a webcam model. So I was 20 years old and I got on webcam for the first time. It's funny, I knew other people that were doing webcam. And I saw it as such a huge opportunity career-wise because it's a way to generate a lot of capital very quickly. And for me, I've always wanted to have multiple businesses. I was always an entrepreneur. My first business was at like age 11. I started a dog sitting, dog walking business.
Wow.
And it was a long time ago.
Nice.
Ever since then, it's kind of just been like in my DNA. I was always an entrepreneur. So when I saw cams, it was a really great opportunity to come up with capital to kind of open doors and do everything else that I wanted to do. And I think that's why it was just so appealing to me. And you learn so much. Like cams is a very time-intensive vertical of adults because you have to be very entertaining, very on, talking and high energy and also performing. And
Does that feel exhausting?
Yes.
It
is. Because it's the being on all the time. It can be. Yeah. It became very clear to me that there wasn't a lot of resources. Like there's no one to teach me how to do anything. I had to do everything myself and learn along the way. And you just fail your way through it until you succeed at something. And once I finally started succeeding, I was like, oh man, it would be so great to give that back to the community and help other creators figure it out because it was just so hard. And it took me so long. I've been doing this 13 years. And if I could, give any information or any resources to a creator where they can do what I've done in maybe 3 years, like that would be really valuable. So,
and they see value in that as well because that makes sense to them. They can skip all those steps that you did.
Yes, all the failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what made sense. It made sense to try to put together information and give it back because I would rather them not have to go through what I went through. It was very hard.
So how did you decide to organize all that process of knowledge sharing, helping all those content creators? I know that you created SWCEO. So how does it go for you these days? How did it all start?
It started just as a kind of social media platform. So I wanted to just put the information out there. So it really kind of started on Twitter, I would say. So I was just making tweets that were very educational, very informational, very tactical. I'm a person that I like to be tactical and hands-on and give me the steps on how to do something. Like, don't give me the philosophy, that's nice too, but like give me the tactical, what do I click? Where do I go? What do I go? Yeah, like, what do I do? So I want stuff like that, and I knew that if that's what I wanted, then that's probably what I should be providing. So
That's what everybody needs.
yeah, it's what everyone's looking for. So I started going and making these like really long Twitter threads, like 12, 18 tweets of step by step. This is how you do this. This is how I did this.
I actually like it very much when it goes to the point, straight to the list of practical actions that you can take, things you can do to get the result without all those theoretical. Very nice.
If you're looking for the information, you want the answer. So it's like, you give me the answer, show me how to do it. I don't want to, like, inspiring people and motivating people is very nice, and I eat that up too. I consume that kind of content. But when I'm trying to build a business, I want actual, tangible capital. Yeah.
Not only that seems to be intuitively correct, but actually works in practice after trying, failing, succeeding again. Very nice. I believe that this brings a lot of value to the industry, to the entire ecosystem, what you do. And I am pretty certain that there are many content creators who are appreciating what you're bringing to the game.
Yeah, it feels that way. It's very fulfilling. I'll say, like, out of all these companies that I've built, Sexy CEO has been the most fulfilling, because I can see, like you know, in tweets or in emails or like just like the feedback from the creators, where they're like, I made so much more money because I did that one thing you said. And I was like, thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, that makes it also worthwhile.
Yeah, that kind of makes that feeling, gives the feeling that what you do makes sense.
Yes.
And it brings value to people. I also enjoy when it happens like this, when someone not only feels appreciated, but also says that this actually helps. And, you know, some previous interview that I was listening to, the one you gave, you took part in, you were saying about the appreciation that comes not only from content creators, but also from some fans that could help even like personally to feel better yourself.
Yeah.
And that is something that I feel personally, because that makes a lot of sense to me, not to search it somewhere else, but to build it from the inside, which is kind of part of the play after all.
Yeah, I think you're really right. I think when you enjoy what you do, or when you get that that feeling that what you're doing matters and it makes a difference, like it's very sustainable, like as a business. Because if it's one thing, like business is hard, like just generally, like business is really, really hard. So if you're already doing a hard thing, it's hard to sustain it for a long period of time if you're not getting something back from it that feels good or feels rewarding, and that thing's a really important component to what I think I've been able to do, is because like it feels good, so when it's really hard, it's easier to keep going.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Would you tell us a little bit about this GPTs that you're also running?
Yes.
I am just wondering how can you find all that time for all the things that you run? But I'm curious to know a little bit more of details about it. Tell us.
So Sexy CEO is like our kind of umbrella creator community, and we didn't for a long time monetize it in any way. I never wanted to take money from creators just because I want to make them money. I want to do the opposite. But when I always had a passion for technology. That's something I use a lot of technological products. So you're very aware, like I love SaaS software. I love anything that can help or streamline or optimize or organize. So for me, the only thing I ever was interested in bringing to market for a creator would be like a software product, just because I'm very passionate about it, and I think that there's a huge shortage of that kind of technology in our space. It's especially tools for creators themselves. So we got the opportunity.
I kind of feel that if you bring some kind of a software solution, you know what actually brings value. So what kind of value does this bring? I believe that it does bring them benefits.
Yes. So GPTs it's an AI product. So basically ChatGPT, but for adults. So there's no content policies. It'll say explicit language. It'll help the creators, write scripts or caption OnlyFans posts or whatever they need help with. Really, it's limitless. It's just a ChatGPT for adults. It's so simple, but it's so needed.
We use ChatGPT every day. That makes so much sense. And this is a specific niche needed thing. I can see value without being content creator. I can see that this brings benefits. This is great that you run it. For how much time have you been running?
We launched this in July of this year, so it's been pretty short. It's a baby. It's learning to walk. It's new.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how is it going so far? Maybe
It's going great. It's going amazing.
those things that you can share, maybe I guess there were some ups and downs, some solutions, unexpected issues that you found.
I think the things that were unexpected about building the product were not the things I could have foreseen. Like, the technology is one challenge, of course. The other part is a lot of adult creators weren't leaning on tools like ChatGPT, so they didn't understand prompting, for example. So it's like an unknown like that. So you don't only have to bring the product to market, you also have to teach or educate on how to use it. So that was probably a little unexpected, because I tend to think creators are more similar to me, and not everyone is the same to me, whereas like I love technology. I use all the AI tools. So I'm just assuming everyone knows how to prompt, but that's an art in itself. So I think that was a little unexpected. And honestly, it hasn't been crazy challenging beyond that up until now. I think scaling will be hard because I haven't had to do that yet. So
This is great that you actually manage all these different directions in the industry all together at once. And I'm glad to hear that it goes well in all of them. Concerning the technology, the software, I really hope that you find value in all those technologies that you're using, incorporating into your businesses. Speaking of modeling part, I remember you started with all those parts that related to content creation, to webcam. How do you manage to combine it with the businesswoman you are, entrepreneur from the childhood, still being content creator, continuing? How is the balance between those two work for you? How do you manage it?
So I don't really believe in balance. So let me start with that. I don't subscribe to that idea very well.
Okay.
I think balance it's subjective, and I think that we all try to aim for this like theoretical balance that's perfect, and it's just not possible. And so I think we set ourselves up for failure by trying to aim for that. So for me, I like to go all in whatever thing or I'm passionate about or inspires me. So it's not equal at all times. Like sometimes I'm crushing it as a creator and I'm making content every day and I'm distributing it and it's cascading and it's doing really well. Sometimes Sex Work CEO is thriving and I'm putting out a course a week and I'm crushing that aspect. And then the rest of the time goes to the product with GPTs. So I don't think I juggle them effectively. I think I focus very selectively for amounts of time, and I set it aside to do that. So that's not like I'll go through a day and do like a little bit of GPTs, a little bit of Sex Work CEO, a little bit of content creation. Usually it's not like that. Usually it's like, okay, today is my content creation day. This is all I'm doing. This is only about MelRose Michaels, the brand. And then Sex Work CEO is tomorrow. Like, it's more like that.
How you feel it from the inside. You say, okay, today I really want to dedicate myself entirely to this one thing.
Yes. Or it's sometimes it's like a factor of like, wow, the weather is really beautiful and the sunlight is like really nice. I want to go shoot content. It's gonna look amazing. So, and there's other things too, or like, life happens. If life gets in the way, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not filming those courses today. Like, I need to do that at a different time. So I like to stay flexible too. I think that's another thing. We all try to be so rigid in our approach to business, where you're like, in my calendar says this, this, and this. And it's like, well, yeah, those things need to get done, but like, you can move them. Like, you can be flexible. I think that helps a lot too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you have a moment for yourself, I believe that is very important. Yeah, not necessarily scheduled or like put in the calendar there every day. I also not go very well with that idea on planning my vacation. It just happens that all of a sudden, like you say, the weather is so nice. I really want to take my time for me.
Yeah, as you should.
I believe, that makes sense for all of us. What about the latest trends, something that you see as strategies in terms of traffic? Here we are at the TES conference, affiliate marketing, something builds up as a new tool, some strategies stop working, some new opportunities emerge. Do you see some, I wouldn't say that liquidity, but rather how the industry changes? Maybe there is something like a dramatic change that you may foresee, or how do you see these trends changing, evolving, influencing one another, combined together? I know you do different things, so it all makes sense as a combination. I guess many content creators do multiple diversification, and that all brings together value.
Yes.
How do you see value in terms of these changing environments?
Is the traffic thing is interesting because traffic is always everyone's like biggest challenge, you know? It's like to get new eyeballs through the door.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's always constantly trying to solve for that. That's why you have conferences like this where there's affiliates and you can try to form these relationships. The only thing new that I've seen kind of coming out of this space related to traffic specifically is that there's like people want to work direct with creator to rev share on traffic, which I think is really fascinating. And it's a cool approach because it proves the value. You know, like we come from traffic thinking like pay per click, for example, where it's like, great, you're getting clicks and that cost adds up pretty quickly. But when you have like, you say you're testing traffic and it's not performing, and then you're paying for all those clicks that you didn't make money on, like that can be so defeating, especially as a creator, because our budgets are small. A lot of creators, like things are tight. We don't have an ad spend like of $1,000 or what have you. So I think that the fact that all these affiliates are kind of considering or being open to work on rev share is really interesting. Like if you can have an affiliate that's going to send you traffic and a tracking link, for example, on OnlyFans, and all the traffic that comes through that tracking link, you're sharing 35% or 50%, whatever the rev share agreement is with the affiliate, I think that's really useful. Like because you're not having this upfront cost, which is a huge barrier of entry to a lot of creators. So that is an interesting trend.
And would you say that this is important to calculate every traffic campaign where everything comes from?
Yes.
All the stats and analytics?
Track everything always. That is the answer. Have evidence that you know something is working so you can replicate it or never do it again. But yeah, tracking is important. And I think that's a big challenge too, is a lot of creators don't have tools for those kinds of things, or to do it well or to do it easy. And a lot of the platforms really don't provide it. So it can be tricky.
Yeah, it is useful to see the stats, to make your decisions based on data that you see. Exactly, it's totally one. Maybe you can give, I know you do a lot of education for content creators, just a quick example of something that used to work previously and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. Maybe from some previous years.
Yeah, the one that comes to mind right off the bat is like the share for share ecosystem. Like share for shares with other models used to be a great way to advertise and cross promote and cross pollinate your audiences, but I don't believe that works anymore. At least not to any effective degree. Not for me, I should say. I should speak for myself, because the fans are so used to seeing it and they know it's promotion and it feels like an ad, and they don't want to go on your page to see ads. They're there to see you. So I think it's kind of spammy and it comes off that way, and I find my fans at least get really frustrated when I try to do it. So I think that's something that used to work really well and doesn't necessarily as much anymore. And then the second was similar, is the guaranteed gains promos that models will do. So it's like a promotion where, like, say I pay you $500 for 1,000 fans guaranteed. And then we set up a tracking link and I watch the clicks come through for the fans on the promotion. So the model would like post my photo, say, you know, this is my friend MelRose, go see her, whatever. And then as fans come through, you have that tracking link that counts the fans that are coming through until you get up to 1,000. So if it's 1,000 fan guaranteed promo, guaranteed gain, which they'll keep running the ad and keep posting me until I get that 1,000 clicks that come through. So like that was something that also used to work, I think, really well. But I think now, like, I've ran so many guaranteed gain promo where it feels like it's been totally gamed, like someone's just sitting there clicking the link, or you know, maybe it's bots or something coming through. It's not like qualified paying users. So those two things stand out that I don't think they're super useful to be doing anymore, to spend time or effort doing anymore.
Interesting. Yeah, that kind of builds up in my head. I understand. And what about some useful advice? Something that you would say makes sense for, I totally agree that this might differ in terms of the specific niche, the type of content that you focus on, things that you prefer doing, the content creators, all different kinds of content creators, different people, but maybe something general we could say, not only be authentic, but also maybe something useful that could work nowadays as a helpful advice for those creators who begin their career, who start.
I think that I like tactical. So for me, the advice that I would give, and the thing that I think has been working really well, has been OFTV for driving traffic. So there's a lot of agencies that I'm hearing talk about it with their models and having great success, where OFTV is like OnlyFans is YouTube, I guess, product. And you can make these safer work videos on it and it drives traffic to your free page. And I've heard that a lot of these models that are doing OFTV are converting really, really well. and all of that audience is coming to their free page and then converting on either pay to unlock DMs or moving over to their VIP pages. So I think that is some advice of something like marketing-wise that's could be really useful for a lot of creators. It's something I'm gonna start doing myself soon, and it's hard because it's more content, it's more work, it's another platform, of course. But if it converts, it would be worth it.
And we still have only 24 hours a day
Yes, of course.
to combine everything. Speaking of agencies, I heard some of them saying that free pages, paid pages. Lately, surprisingly, free pages give more output.
Oh, okay.
So even those who had their paid pages more active, they kind of switched to mostly free pages. Do you see this change? Do you feel that it's happening? How does it influence you?
So I've noticed about the agencies too, because it's a lower barrier to entry on a free page to get a fan to subscribe. Obviously, it's free, so there's no risk that they have to overcome. And it's useful to gather and congregate a lot of fans and like park them there that you can convert them over time. So it's a nice funnel. For me personally, because I'm in the creator community and I'm having creator conversations, the average creator, I think, is still doing VIP pages, is still trying this business model. I don't know that that's the right option. I think it comes down to the creator personally, because it depends what kind of business model you want to run. If you want to deal with a volume of fans, a free page is great because you're going to get everyone that ever wants to see anything because they're not paying a subscription. If you don't have maybe the resources, if you can't work with an agency, or if you don't want to work with an agency, volume is actually a huge problem. So it might be better to have a VIP page, make money off a subscription, only have 100 paying fans that you can actually DM and chat with and monetize, and just do it that way. I think it's a choice that you have to make independently as a creator. I don't think one is wrong or right necessarily. Like, if you want to deal with volume, free page all the way. But if you can't deal with volume or you don't have the resources, then you're going to make your life very difficult.
No.
So.
And those creators who just start their path and want to learn more from you, such useful advices that you share, what would be the process? They just contact you directly through the website, or they get in touch with, how does it, what would be the first steps for them to get all that useful information from you?
Yeah, so the easiest thing is like start following us on socials. Our YouTube channel, we're putting out a course a week right now. And all the courses, like, it's not something I plan or like I want to educate on X, Y, and Z. It's the creators in the community asking questions. I'm like, okay, I've heard that question 5 or 6 times. Let's make a video and address it. So all of the actual content we put out is really community driven, I would say. So it's supposed to be hopefully the most valuable things, and I'm answering the questions that are most useful. But socials is always easiest. And then if you like our socials and you like the stuff we put out, you can always come into our closed community. We just launched a CEO Society, which is a closed community for creators, because we can't say everything outwardly on socials that we talk about as creators. Like, you don't want to, a fan, if you are working with an agency, for example, you might not want to talk about that publicly where fans can see it. So these kind of more sensitive conversations stay in this closed community, and we can really not just help each other, but like actually support each other. We can learn from each other. We have case studies of creators who are like, I'm testing this month. Here's my starting screenshot, my ending screenshot. Here's the evidence. It did work. It didn't work.
Sounds incredibly useful.
It's so useful. The learning curve is so much more sped up in this place because you have all of this data and you have all of this like community-driven evidence to pull from. It's not just you anymore.
And this is on a large scale. I heard some content creators sharing some information between each other in some closed, very small group of friends between each other, like there are too many chargebacks there or something like that. Some kind of a useful insights that they get and they learn from each other. This, having such a thing on a big scale, entire community with experienced content creators, with people from inside of the industry, from the inside of this business, this is extremely valuable. And when you have useful technology to see both statistics, analytics, maybe some useful warnings about chargebacks, again, that all together brings some kind of useful synergy and people working together, helping each other. It's not about competition.
No. Collaboration.
Exactly. I like the way you put it. And I really hope that this grows, builds up, and becomes a very large platform for everyone to collaborate, to work together and bring value to each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
MelRose, was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again. And I give you a hug.
Good at this, Tim. Good.